Okay, Bryce, let's get into it. Let's start sweet today. Let's talk about sugar.
That crack cocaine that our brains love. In fact, Trace, I'll start by this. A lot of studies show there's almost no difference to the brain when you consume sugar and, God forbid, consume crack cocaine. There you go. That's the level of addictiveness. You know me, I always like to get into a biology 101, how this is all really going down in the bloodstream, in our bodies. So here's the breakdown. There's everything from glucose, fructose, galactose, sucrose, which is table sugar. This is also found naturally in fruit. And then there are things like carbohydrates, which the body basically somewhat interprets all as sugar. But there's good for you sugar locked up in those fruits and vegetables, like I said. And then there's the processed, refined sugar. But let me break it down like this. A simple paper clip. This is glucose or fructose. It's a monosaccharide. I've only got one in my hand. When I get two, that's a disaccharide. That's the same thing as table sugar, okay? These two little chain together. When you have something more complex like this is a polysaccharide or a carbohydrate. Now, imagine this, the difference between your body not needing to break down a mono or disaccharide versus trying to take the simple sugars off. So look, I'm the body and I got to take this apart. And it's a lot more complicated than essentially, see, I can't even get that one apart, than essentially taking these single monosaccharides or disaccharides and throwing them into your system, Trace. So does that make sense?
That does make sense. It does. So some of the sugars you've mentioned aren't necessarily bad for us. So let's talk about the difference between natural and processed sugar.
Yeah, so the biggest evil is what a lot of these companies throw into products, in particular high fructose corn syrup. And these are in foods and beverages for that matter, which we'll get into in detail. Crackers, flavored yogurts, tomato sauces, salad dressings. But the worst enemy of all is low-fat foods, okay? Low-fat foods, worst offenders. Manufacturers use sugar essentially to add flavor in replace of fat. So here's how it works. The body breaks down refined stuff super fast, okay? And then sugar, which is now in the bloodstream, causes insulin, which is a hormone in your body, to blast out. And this ultimately creates these ebbs and flows, highs and lows. So when you eat refined sugar, insulin goes up, and then all of a sudden you crash, and then your body, craves more sugar. But the fiber in those fruits and vegetables we alluded to earlier slows down the release of sugar and the complex carbohydrates found in healthy nature provided foods. So this is known as glycemic index. Once sugar, especially in the refined form, passes through the stomach, reaches the small intestine, essentially the body can't really tell if it came from an apple or a soft drink, but how much sugar is already in your blood will determine essentially how your body uses the sugar. So by example, you've had a soft drink, Trace, and I got a bunch of monosaccharides and disaccharides here, and bam, okay, your body essentially experiences all this sugar. But if I were to give you, and you notice the difference here, I'm going to show you something here. It might be a little bit more difficult to see on camera, but do you see this long chain here?
Yeah.
Do you notice the difference compared to the silver ones I just showed you? What do you see?
I see that they're colorful.
Bingo. So not only do you want a longer chain, complex, from fruits and vegetables, they're packed with phytonutrients, colorful antioxidants that are attached to the carbohydrate. Now, versus me whipping all of those out into the system at once, there's one. It's taken me time. The body's got to work for it. Insulin slow release. There's two. All right, lots of nutrients in there that are released at the same time. There's three. So you see that time change that's different? And so really it's all about knowing how to get naturally occurring sugars from your diet versus relying on the refined stuff, the crack cocaine.
Yeah, okay, that makes a lot of sense. The visual works for me. So I understand there is a Bryce Sugar Challenge. Do explain to me what I'm going to be doing because I'm going to take the challenge.
All right, because at the end of the day, we want to understand the difference between the sugar refined in foods versus the complex stuff. So in front of you, you've got bags there, and associated to those bags, you've got everyday ingredients like we talked about. You've got salad dressings, you've got various soft drinks, some bread, for example. I want you, and you've got a minute on the clock, by the way, so let's race through. So I want you to match those particular everyday food products into the bags that have the, in your mind, the equivalent of sugar on them. Can you do that?
I can do it. So I want to explain to the viewers, I'm not cheating. I wrote down what I was going to put behind each bag of sugar because I only have a minute. So let's go. Let's start the clock now. As soon as the clock is up. Oh, gosh. Okay. So tonic water, I'm putting right at the top there. Vanilla yogurt, I'm saying it's got 4 grams of sugar. Caesar dressing, 8 grams of sugar, which I feel now in retrospect is wrong. Milk, 13 grams of sugar. Raisin cereal, 14 grams of sugar. Then we've got white bread, 20 grams of sugar. We got cookies here, also with 20 grams. That's what I think anyway. Ketchup, 27 grams of sugar. Apple juice, 42 grams of sugar. Soda pop, 48 grams of sugar. Ooh, look at that, 20 seconds left. I'm done, y'all. I'm done.
You are on fire. No question you're fast. No question you're fast. But let's talk about accuracy, because I've got my crib sheet here. By the way, you actually did probably a little better than the average. Most people have no clue whatsoever, even if you have those sheets or these stickers on the back of nutrient profiles on the back of products. So here's what you got right. First of all, milk, bang on, 13 grams. Raisin cereal, 14 grams. By the way, about 4 to 5 grams is a teaspoon for everyone out there to get this in their head. You got the cookies right, and you've got the soda pop right, with the exception, by the way, let's have this conversation real quick around tonic water. Most folks get this wrong. Tonic water is not club soda, which is devoid of, it's a fizzy drink, but it's devoid of sugar. Tonic water has nearly the same amount of sugar as a cola, okay?
What?
So if you're out and you're on the town, and soon, hopefully we are, and you're thinking, I'm going to have like a vodka tonic. There is no difference between that and a rum and Coke. That's first off. Let's also call out the trick, because you know me, I'm always going to be tricky with you. The salad dressing. You put that in at 8 grams. You know what? The average, let's call it French or Thousand Islands, add a lot of sugar, and you would have been right. However, I tricked you. This is ranch, and there is no sugar. That was the 0 gram, all right, which you replaced with tonic water. But here's the deal, and I just want to use this quick caveat because we're focused on sugar right now. Here's the deal, though. It's not always about sugar. If you look at that long list of ingredients there, you'll see all kinds of stuff in there, particularly bad refined oils. That's almost as bad as sugar itself, causes cravings. I'll just say the average person consumes about 53 pounds of added sugar. Forget about the stuff that's in naturally occurring, added refined sugar in their diet. That converts to 96,000 calories, which is approximately 23 extra of these that you got to work to burn off, 23 extra fat pounds. So here's some quick supplements over here. Zinc and minerals, trace minerals, in particular chromium, all help to curb cravings and help with insulin blood sugar balance. And I got to mention this one, Trace, before we get out of here. Cinnamon. Most everyone has this in their cupboard. Cinnamon, a half a teaspoon a day, is amazing to control blood sugar.
Listen, my eyes are wide open now about that tonic water. This has been a really good lesson. Thank you, Bryce. And if you want to learn more about healthy ways to crush your sugar cravings, head to cityline.tv.